everything's to be ready when you guys are. So yeah, I'll just do my usual end. So what's up, guys? And welcome to the stream. And I've got the one and only Volcano X from Dundee on. So how are you guys all doing?
All right, man. I'm good.
Good, man.
I'm Johnny Steele. I'm the singer. JP.
I guess that's me, JP. I am the guitarist and wannabe singer.
Mike.
I'm Mike. I also play guitar and do backing vocals.
Gav. Gav is down there. He is the drummer. I'm not sure if he can hear us. But
I don't know what the layout is. It could be anywhere.
And Robbie is on bass, but he's not available right now.
He's like,
he's there. Robbie.
You might be hearing us somewhere wherever he is, and wherever he is, you'll be hearing this. You'll be watching this probably when this is up, so you'll be seeing it then probably. So yeah, Volcano X obviously, and you guys must have got a name for a volcano. It's the experimental volcano project or something.
There's a story behind that, isn't there?
There is. Do you remember the story, Mike, when we were coming up with a name originally?
Yeah, we were originally going to be called Caldera, I think, and then basically about the week before we came up with it, what's the guy's name? The guitarist who used to be in Black Label Society.
Mm-hmm.
He'd started up a new band that was called Caldera, so it just seemed a bit. Yeah, we're not going to win against someone. So let's just think of something similar, and just put an X on the end because it's 80s, and why the fuck not?
But there's more to it though. So we were thinking like volcano and everything, and it was you that said, let's call it something that sounds like better, that's more like, I don't know, sound more abstract. Like what about, and you said the Latin word for volcano was volcanus, and we looked that up, but then we saw there was another couple of bands that were called volcanus, and then Paul just said to us, stoned, he was like, why don't we just put an X on the end of it, because if you put an X on the end of it, that makes everything metal. And we just started laughing and was like, yeah, let's do that then.
So it's simple is just putting an X at the end. Maybe you get 3 X's or something would be quite cool.
Yeah, it makes it metal.
You want to be metal, put an X on it.
Yeah,
3 X's or something would be even better. So yeah, I mean, you guys are very, very good. Obviously, you guys live. You played at Opium and Bannerman's, and you guys were supporting then the band called Midnight Force.
Yes.
Midnight Force, Rabid Bitch, and Black Market Tyrants. That was that one at Opium.
Yeah, I know the drummer quite well from Midnight Force. I give a shout out to these guys. Actually, Midnight Force, if they're hearing this, then shout out to them. And so Midnight Force, just such an amazing band. They've toured around Europe and that, which is very cool. It's one of these bands you wouldn't think would get out there, eventually out there. One of these smaller bands, but they're doing pretty well, and especially where they are now as well. Very good band, and I knew Pete actually was I knew Pete for some time as well. He was one of the teachers that actually works in the school. He's actually that's his mother of him as well. So obviously that's what I mean. So just such an amazing band and just amazing drummer as well. So what he does, and Black Market Tyrants as well. I think I've seen them as well. But probably was at that gig as well. So
yeah,
they're kind of in that same side as well. They're like hard rock, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember the gig. It was a very good night. Yeah. So what do you want to ask us, Chris? What do you want to ask Volcano X? What do you want to know about us? What we've been up to? What we've been doing?
So we'll get on to the questions then. So how do you guys start the band?
Okay. Well, me and Mike and one of the original guitarists, Paul, we started the project. It's actually Mike and Paul really came to me with the idea of wanting to start a heavy metal band in the vein of Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. From my point of view, they asked me to be a part of it. I thought that originally it might be quite out of my vocal range, but I was up for giving it a go. And I remember coming to Mike with the vocals over the top of a song, which eventually became Rapturous, and playing it to him, and he just looked at me and gave me a big smile and was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm looking for." So that was my first memories of making the band. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, that was probably 1 second while I grab this guy who's being a little shit. Yeah, I remember when I first heard your vocals for Rapturous was when I knew like we were onto something. Because obviously, like you like to write your vocals, and then the first time we hear it is when we get over basically a demo with the full thing. So it's a total surprise, and it just blew me away. I was like, yes, we're off to the races here now.
Good stuff.
Oh my gosh.
JP, what about you? What was your first experience of coming into the band, replacing Paul?
Yeah, I came into Phil Paul's shoes rather shoddily. They put an ad up basically saying, "Oh, look, we need a guitarist." And I was like, "You can what? I'm needing a band or something. I need to do something." And it wasn't really what I was looking for at the time, because I mean, I pretty much grew up as a hardcore kid. It was all beat doons, screamy. Either that or like hideous pop punk and ska. So it's like totally polar opposites. And this kind of fell somewhere in between. I was like, you know what, this would be a good laugh. This would be something that's not too angry, it's not too serious and downbeat, but then it's not like a total joke. So I was like, you know what, it's somewhere in between that'll probably sit quite nicely, and it'll give me a good opportunity as a guitarist to grow and actually push myself to do better. Because I wasn't much of a lead player at the time. Like, I was competent, but I wasn't by no means a shredder. Whereas having to step up and kind of learn some of like Paul's parts, which were definitely out of my comfort zone to start with, has really pushed me to get better, essentially. And from there, I think the band's really been a good thing in terms of my progression as a guitarist. So yeah, from that initial kind of little audition, I mind waiting outside the practice room at Robbie's old studios, where like two or three other folk I think auditioned at the same time. And I mind sitting outside listening, going like, I'm not getting this gig. Like, thinking like it was no for us, because everybody else sounded amazing as well. And sure enough, I ended up landing it. So yeah, happy days from there.
I'll second that about like expanding your range and your ability and stuff like that. That I felt like that personally as well. I feel like my vocal range has come on a lot, and my ability. I've definitely expanded on what I did before this, and I'm glad I'm a part of it, because it now actually gives me the opportunity as a vocalist to do a range of stuff, and it incorporates like everything that I've done before and then something new, which is really nice. So I feel like I can just sort of do a lot of the things that suits my voice, and highlights what I'm good at. Gav, what about you? What are your first experiences of coming into Volcano X when you did?
Well, I mean, so I came from a band, again, pretty much what JP was saying, like sort of from one band, like I went straight from Dirty Judas into Volcano X.
Dirty Judas.
Yeah. Fellow band member there, by the
way. Is that there on my screen?
So yeah, basically I spoke to Robbie, and Robbie was saying that their drummer was, I don't know if he'd left or he was leaving or what the deal was.
Typical drummer stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. And I saw them actually play at Beat Generator, and I remember seeing them at Beat Generator, and like the energy that they all were given, I was like, that's the kind of band that I want to be in. That's, you know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm looking for. As JP says, it's fun. It's a fun band. We have some great tunes, but at the same time, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of energy on stage, and I think when people see us live, especially, like they always comment and they're always like, "You guys are just so much fun on stage. It's just like great to watch." So it's great for us to play, and it's great for people to watch. So. So anyway, so basically Robbie said that they were kind of going to be looking for a drummer. So I think I messaged Mike actually, did it? Is it Mike I messaged and asked about trying out?
It's blurry. It's so blurry.
I remember
so long ago.
Yeah. I remember needing a bassist and a drummer at the same time, and it was Georgie that was like gave me the elbow and went, "What about Robbie? Robbie Islam's a bassist," and blah blah. And then like I think Robbie, maybe she or Robbie got you in at the same time, sort of thing, around that time. Like that's for me. That's where the suggestion came from. Was maybe Georgie and Robbie.
Well, yeah, because Robbie was coming back because like Robbie he pulled off a return before I did.
He did, yeah. Robbie was there for about a year, and then he went away to do other stuff, and then he came back in, didn't he?
Yeah, he was too busy because he was doing the I'm in 7 bands kind of thing.
Honestly, it was about 79 bands he was in, just helping out or just being in other bands. He was at the studio.
He was trying to run the studio,
as well. So like he was so busy that he was just doing so much stuff. So I think even by that time as well, he was starting to reduce the amount of bands he was in. So he was getting to spend more time and enjoying being in Volcano X as well. And I think now we're kind of like Spinal Tap, where we've had so many different band members come and go. I swear to God, there's probably 12 members of Volcano X if you put them all together, you know, right?
Yes, that's right. To be honest,
like Megadeth or
it could be like the Bullet
or Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, it took us a while to get a solid like lineup going, because for a while it was difficult to actually get out and get a gig going, because I remember going through a cycle of like every 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Like we'd get like 5 people together, and then one of them would leave just as we'd got like enough songs together and we were starting to get somewhere and thinking about getting a gig together. Someone would go and leave, and we were like, and to start the cycle off again, like with somebody else, like getting them learning all the tunes. So it's nice to get to a point where we had a solid lineup, like, and we've now gone at it and played gigs for a number of years now. So there was a point where I never thought we were going to get past the Eruption. I thought I was going to be just playing the Eruption forever, just in a rehearsal room with different guys trying to get out onto a stage.
Just being the album went through every time.
Yeah.
That as well. I mean, as you guys, do you play like traditional heavy metal as well?
Say that again.
Traditional heavy metal, you guys play?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
There's heavy metal. That's like the flagship song from the
this is heavy metal.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize what you were saying.
That's the kind of the single from the Eruption.
It's our anthem, isn't it? Yeah.
That's our Enter Sandman.
Yeah. That's why we end every gig.
The one where you're not allowed to not play. Which is really annoying. See, try to make a set and you're just like, but we have to finish on heavy metal.
Got to go in. Although we have toyed with not playing it. And I think maybe once we have actually done that, but Norrie's normally he's pretty adamant about playing it. Yeah, he's like, it's staying in.
Well, the one time we didn't play it, or that we put it in the middle of a set, people have come up to me and said, "Why haven't you played it?" Or you shouldn't put it in the middle of the set. You should end with it. And I'm like, I know.
Yeah. I'll tell you what happened. It was
you can't disappoint the crowd.
It was the Metal to the Masses gigs. We opened with This Is Heavy Metal and closed with Rapturous. They weren't too bad because it was the opening song. It was like, well, that kind of gets a lot of attention. But it was the album launch. We stuck it like in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
It was really odd. It was just what worked. It's I'm kind of spacing the songs out. It's like that song went really well in heavy metal, and we're just like, sod it. We'll fling it in the middle. Why not?
Yeah.
I can't even remember what we opened with that night.
I don't know.
It was Rapturous. We closed with Rapturous.
Yeah. This is the thing, I think, when you play these songs over and over and over, especially as the band, you want to try and keep it fresh and mix things up. So there's always like a debate every now and then of like, what else can we end with? Come on, there's got to be other things, because we want to, you know what I mean? We don't want to keep going through the same cycle as musicians. We want to keep it fresh and entertaining for ourselves. So
yeah, need to change it up.
So maybe that was the Edinburgh gig when he released the Eruption or something album.
It was Conroy's basement in Dundee where we released the album.
It was on about that time or something.
Yeah, it would have been a similar time, I think. I can't remember.
The which gig, sorry? A similar time to
the Opium one.
Oh.
When was Opium compared to the Eruption? That was a bit later, I think.
Yeah, that was quite a bit later, that we did that, yeah. Maybe half a year to a year later.
So I mean, quite a while ago then. This feels like time goes so fast these days, and you think about it didn't feel that long ago.
Well, it does. What was it? It's like 2 years ago we put out the Eruption.
Yeah, it's over 2 years now. It's over 2 years that we launched it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we're finally kind of making progress towards doing the next thing now.
Yeah, he saw that as well, so I saw that.
Yeah, we got Of This Earth, which is a kind of one-off single that we've kind of put out for just now, supporting the Black Lives Matter cause as well. All the money raised from that is going to go directly to that. We're not taking a penny from that.
Yeah.
Just it's a really kind of powerful song about strength, essentially, and growth. And I think that's what a lot of people need to do these days is, well, grow, educate yourselves, find out about, well, why is this a big deal? And plus, like, it's just empowering to the whole movement in general. I mean, it's not specifically about Black Lives Matter, but when I was thinking about it, I was like, you know what? Why not kind of add to the rally here and kind of say, like, this is a good cause. Let's actually make sure that the message is out there.
I agree with that, JP. I like the way. I mean, it's actually good timing. I think it does. It does say something and comment on it in a quite a subtle way, but the message is very well written. And I've got to compliment JP on that because he's come up with the lyrics to originally. Like I've just rejigged them a bit and fit them around the music, but JP's come up with the actual lyrics for that and the concept for that song. And it is a very good, very well written, empowering song, and it's quite appropriate and of the time that we're going through right now.
Well, exactly. I was going to say that as well, Nori. I was like, considering what's going on at the moment, it's a very kind of apt song, and it's been really well received so far as well, which has been great. Everybody's when we kind of released it and kind of put it up on all the platforms, but it's been really well received. People are really liking the tune, so that puts us in good stead for obviously when we start to release the EP as well. So it's a good jumping pad, I would say, for that.
So should we maybe actually give some info on?
Yeah, sure. So now we've got a music video for Of This Earth. It is on YouTube, so you can watch the music video that we've made there. Again, that's edited by the wonderful JP down there. And
he's there.
If you want to actually buy the tune and support the cause, you can find that on Bandcamp exclusively right now. So you can download a high quality WAV of This Earth for a minimum of £1 or up to as much as you want to give, and all proceeds from Of This Earth on Bandcamp will go to the Black Lives Matter cause.
That's awesome, guys. I really appreciate you doing that. That's amazing. You can do stuff like that, like a song for that as well. So yeah, I mean, as I say, I played a couple of your tracks on Sam Radio's Metal Show, of course, and I played the classic ones. As I said, this is heavy metal, and I think
the classics.
The unavoidable.
Supernova as well.
It's so funny because I'm thinking about it. We actually had the album launch 2 years ago, but that album is probably about 10 years old.
Yeah.
I don't remember a time where I wasn't playing it, quite honestly.
When you put it in that perspective, all of a sudden the new EP has come around incredibly quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Considering that on top of that we've got at least 6 or 7 songs music-wise ready to go, which is insane.
Yeah, we've not even released this EP, and like we've got another one ready to go.
Yeah, it's
really good ideas going, actually. Yeah.
That's the problem with the Eruption. We had the forthcoming CD written by the time we did the Eruption.
Yeah.
It just wasn't recorded.
Yeah,
and it's the same situation now. We've got the new CD coming, and yeah, we've pretty much got another CD's worth of material.
It's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem. Absolutely, it's a good problem to have. It keeps things fresh. So, Mike, do you want to tell him? Do you want to tell Chris something about the new EP called The Sacrifice?
It might be better for anyone else to talk about The Sacrifice, as I.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah, that's me being an idiot. Yeah, sorry. Okay.
I suppose.
So Mike Mike hasn't recorded stuff on the EP. That was the guitarist before him, Danny. So yeah, that was that was me being an idiot. Okay, JP, stop me being an idiot, and you talk about The Sacrifice.
I'll talk about the sacrifice for a bit then. Originally, during the process of actually recording the eruption, we had 5 songs pretty much written, ready for what is now the sacrifice. Mikey is on the sacrifice, but not on the original set of recordings. We're gonna shove all this Earth on as a little bonus track. Yeah. As it was recorded in a different session, so it sounds a little bit different, but it's fitting enough for the set. So there's 5 songs on Sacrifice. They're probably a lot darker, a lot heavier than what's on the Eruption. The Eruption is quite euphoric, shall we say? And it's quite sparkly and nice and shiny. Whereas this one's definitely a bit dirtier and a bit darker. Tackles a lot of more kind of serious subject matter as well in some cases. So let me think. I can't remember the track list. Okay. I can't remember the order off the top of my head. We've got Truth is a Convincing Lie. We have Soul Eater. We have Dead Behind the Eyes, Mastermind, and Violence Through Digital Frames. They were the 5 we originally recorded for the Sacrifice and Of This Earth to top that one off as a wee bonus track. So we're looking to release things soon. I shan't leak the date or anything like that just now. But once we have everything confirmed and in place and ready to go, if you keep an eye on the Facebook page, there will be announcements as to when it's coming out. We'll start leaking the album artwork and such like, and giving you wee teasers of what you can expect. So, I mean, but if you go and look at some of the old live footage, I'm pretty sure there's a version of every song on there apart from Violence, possibly. And I think if you search hard enough, you will find it elsewhere.
Yeah,
it's just not on our YouTube. But yeah, so we recorded that at Seagate Studio in Dundee. We recorded it actually in my cupboard, essentially.
Where you're sat now.
Yeah, essentially right where I'm sat just now. This is where we did all the tracking for it.
Except I was in the smaller cupboard next door. I was in the ensuite cupboard.
Yeah. Literally the ensuite. We did the drums at Seagate though. We went to Seagate to do the drums, and then we had Graham from Seagate do all the mixing and mastering for that.
That's right.
And yeah, it's come out really nice sounding. It's got its own unique sound. Like I say, it's a little bit darker, a little bit heavier, but there's definitely still plenty of energy. There's definitely still plenty of go to it.
I would say expands on the range of what we've been doing so far. Like
sure.
The Eruption's like sort of your classic sort of heavy metal, and this, it does expand into darker, sort of more political sort of stuff at times, and it just shows more of a range of what we can do now that we've properly bonded as a unit over a number of years, and it's playing to all our strengths, I would say, rather than sort of, because the Eruption is sort of what got us going. So we're sort of working from what our influences are and taking stuff and making sort of our template, shall we call it. And now I think that the Sacrifice really encompasses all our strengths. It's more of a band creation rather than coming from sort of what brought us to the table in the first place.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, if you look at it, like the individual songs, for example, Dead Behind the Eyes has got a real kind of punk influence to it, and that's kind of going back to like my roots, like as well, a dirty little punk. And I mean, the working title for it was literally called Knees Up.
Yeah,
it is just a heavy metal knees up.
Yeah.
Whereas like the likes of Mastermind that's a proper heavy number. That's like borderline Gojira kind of idea going on there. But I mean, it's still very definitely us, but it's us at the limit of our kind of go. So like I say, we go a little bit punk in places. We go like proper heavy in some places, and then you've got
a bit thrashy as well in places.
There's definitely some thrash. There's Soul Eater's kind of a bit more slow and I don't want to say sludgy, but it's got that kind of groove thing going on.
Groove metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's us with a wider influence. It's not quite as narrow as the Eruption was.
Yeah.
So that sounds really good.
It's almost like an evolution of the band, but also the music in terms of the writing and the sound.
Yeah.
And kind of how the songs are kind of go as well, sort of thing. So it's really good to you kind of see that progression from the Eruption to the Sacrifice as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Yeah.
And one thing I will say about the Sacrifice EP, even though I wasn't involved in the writing or recording, was that rejoining the band, I did have some concerns before I'd heard it, like, oh, what are the new songs going to be like, and am I going to enjoy them? That sort of almost trepidation, like, what if they're not as good and I have to just suck it up and play them? But when when I heard the EP for the first time, I was fucking floored. I thought it was awesome. So I was really happy to be learning to play the songs from it, and didn't see anything that I needed to mess with. So it was I just thought it was really great to come back, and I was really happy with what you guys had done while I'd been away.
I remember you walking back and going, we're not worthy, we're not worthy.
Just keeping the seat warm for you, Mikey, that's all.
Welcome back, son, welcome back.
Mikey never left, he just went on holiday for a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, well. There was only about a year where I wasn't playing in the band, and then whenever either Danny or UJP were unable to do a gig, we would, or even Roby one time, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It was the Windsor and Kirkcaldy. Me and you swapped bass duties.
Oh yeah, both of you. Yeah.
That was a great gig.
Oh yeah, that was great fun. But yeah, it feels like I've barely been away. It was just kind of almost felt like a formality when I stepped back in, I suppose.
Aye, pretty much. Pretty much was.
Just like a glove.
Yeah.
Like a glove.
Some Ace Ventura Park in there.
That sounds really good. I'm definitely looking forward to this EP. It sounds like it's going to be insane because all the different genres getting combined into one album. It's going to be insane.
I think people are going to be quite surprised at the variation that's actually in the songs, to be honest. Because if they've heard the Eruption, it's kind of foot to the floor, kind of just straight on metal basically. But because it was done a good couple of years ago, when you listen to this now, you can hear how much everything's kind of matured and sort of, the kind of the skill set as well. Everybody's skill set's kind of like greatly improved as well, and it is all there. It's all in the tunes. It's all in the music. You can totally hear it when you listen to it. And I'm really happy. I'm really proud of it. I'm glad I was like part of that because it just sounds, even to me, it sounds awesome. And it's like sitting in the recording studio, especially the drums, doing the drum track, and you're listening to the same kind of first part over and over again just to get it right. Make sure the China cymbals are in there.
That bloody China. Man, we needed a spot mic on that. Like
all the hard work, and then with the final product is just. I mean, I'm still blown. I listened to it, and I'm still blown away with it now. So, I'm really excited to see what people actually think of it as well.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I love the production of it. I love the writing of it. I do find it really enjoyable to listen to.
It sounds like it's going to rival the Gojira albums, I reckon, as well. If you see, this is the first album.
Well,
I've seen the track Mastermind. That's like Danny's one of Danny's favorite bands was Gojira. So you'll hear that strong influence in Mastermind, and then you'll hear me making it more formulaic and pop with my vocals over the top of it.
I remember the first time Danny brought the demo of Mastermind to the table, and he was like, "Oh, this is like this song that I've written." I was like, "Holy fuck, what is that?"
Yeah, just that.
It was like brutally heavy
with the sweep picking and whatever he's doing. I was like, "What is he doing there?"
It was insanely heavy. I was like, "This is a tune, man," but this is like diving in off the deep end. And I mean, I think the creative process has kind of instilled a little bit more of Volcano X into that. So we've taken the heavy elements and kind of made it our own. But yeah, the first demo I heard of it, I was like absolutely just mind blown, like how insane it was. And yeah, like it's come out amazing. Like I'm really like I was really skeptical about like this sounds out of place for us. But then having worked on it and tweaked little bits and changed bits, I was like, no, that's still a Volcano X song. That's absolutely still a Volcano X song. It's just heavy as fuck.
The intro to it is very heavy and chaotic, isn't it? It's just pure chaos. But
it's that intro where you just like, I was expecting that.
Yeah, I'm so glad my vocals are dead simple over the top of that. It's by design, you know. It's like,
less is more.
God, it's like you can be talented and do all that shit, and I'll just sing hail. Go for it. Hail.
There's going to be a song. There'll be songs that start all the moss pits and the walls of deaths as well.
Yes,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
You know what?
It sounds like it.
It's a brutal one.
Yeah.
It's going to probably be impressive. All the other bands, like I think Hatesphere would be quite cool as well. A band called Hatesphere, and I think you guys might sound like that as well. I've got they came in my mind as well. And metal band, Danish metal band. It's insane, like melody metal, but they're like thrashy as well. So
that's cool. That sounds good.
It's a good mix.
As I would usually check them out, they're just insane. I mean, they're not played here, but not for a while. But I mean, I've played them on the show a few times, so it's just getting them out there as well. And obviously, if you hear my shows, I don't play all these big bands all the time. I play also independent bands, like bands from UK and beyond, some European bands as well. I'm actually getting some PR promotions getting in touch with me now, sending the music to me, which I'm really appreciate as well, because then I could get them on the show. So cool. That's since the next step now. The next step now is to get all these smaller independent bands played on the show. So
yeah, man, sounds good.
And it's making the station a bit more established as well in a way. So that is insane. So just keep it up as well. I just need to keep my brains going as well, answering all these emails I'm getting as well. So it's kind of like 100 emails a day or something I'm getting. And no, it's kidding on. I'm getting just like one or two a day. Not like one or two or something is fine. Only getting them a day, so can manage.
Well, we'll be sending you another 50 a day when the EP comes out, so you play it all the time.
Yeah, they're getting pestered.
I'm going to play the tracks on. I'm definitely going to play the tracks on the show. It's going to be insane. So you need to please. I really appreciate you guys send me some tracks in at some point.
Yeah, we'll do.
And I'll definitely get them on. So
yeah, we'll send you them in the build up to getting released. Absolutely.
You send me a track every so often as well, like a single every time when you release it or something.
Yeah, we can just feed you them. Yeah, actually, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So, can we ask another question, guys?
Yeah, go for it. Fire away.
It's question 1.
I'll do another one.
I'm still going.
Question 2, and what are your hobbies and interests? That's like not music questions, but questions, things you enjoy in the spare time.
Outside of the band, what do we do?
Yeah.
Nori, do you want to start? Or?
Okay. Outside of the band, I'm in another band now. I'm only just kidding. I'll play lots of PS4 stuff like that. I'm really into my Resident Evil series. I like cycling. I do lots of yoga, gardening as well. Actually, I like to do lots of gardening over at my mum's house. It's quite therapeutic. I've got other musical projects that I like to work on as well. So I can be a what do you call it? A control freak and be in charge of everything from start to finish. Gav, what about you?
Outside, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of same. I'm a bit of an avid gamer as well. I'm a new dad. I've got a 4-month-old daughter, so she's taking up pretty much all of our time now. But yeah, we just like kind of going for nice meals and seeing the family. Bit of a film buff, so I like going to pictures. I live in a village, so I've got kind of like outdoorsy pursuits as well, sort of things. So just to use good for walks or cycling or all the usual kind of stuff. So yeah, like just plenty of stuff to keep us going anyway.
Mikey?
Yeah, just other than hoarding gear, play a lot of guitar gear. Come on, Gabby.
Oh, okay, right.
A lot of gear myself. Just polished off Horizon Zero Dawn, so I was pretty stoked when the reveal trailer for the next.
Oh, yeah, that was great, didn't it?
Just like about ready to cry myself to sleep. I was so overjoyed. Other than that, I've just got a Switch, so I've been playing the crap out of Mario Kart and Mario Odyssey. So been keeping myself busy during lockdown and just doing a bit of yoga and going for walks and stuff to pass the time. But yeah. How about you, JP?
Oh, where do I begin? So I guess what I've got in common with these guys is I'm a total gamer guy as well. Like say, I'm a Final Fantasy speedrunner. I speedrun Final Fantasy 9, and that is a whole day's job, that one, because it's a 10-hour run. But apart from that, yeah, into my PlayStation 4. A bit of a sim racer. I've got my own steering wheel and pedals set up at home. Currently working my way through, well, pretty much done everything I can do with Gran Turismo Sport. So Gran Turismo 7 reveal was absolutely let's go PS5. Let's go.
It's going to be the next one, as long as they don't have shit calves engine sounds, I think.
Oh, I think that's the biggest problem, isn't it? It's rubbish engine sounds. Otherwise, it's a great game. Otherwise, it's great. But yeah, I'll be doing that. Project Cars 2, Assetto Corsa, stuff like that.
Project Cars 3, that's coming out.
I'm not liking Project Cars 3. It looks too much of a gimmick to me. But I could be wrong. Aside from gaming, when I'm not playing guitars, I'm making them. That's one of my ones. The one directly behind me is actually someone else's that I'm making for them. Not finished yet, but it's getting there. Outside, I skateboard, or well, used to. I more roll around on the board these days than actually skate, but I try. And yeah, like living in the countryside just now, just like Gav. I mean, it's great just getting out for a walk and seeing wildlife. It's surprising how much of it's out there, and you just don't notice it if you're not looking for it. I mean, just the other day, out with my daughter, a 3-year-old daughter, and we spotted deer, we spotted black rabbits, we spotted a buzzard. There's all sorts out here. You just got to look for it. You just got to look for it.
You just have to look for it.
But yeah, like that's.
We couldn't go one interview without a Bo Selector reference, could we?
Come on now, you knew it was happening.
Of course we couldn't. Who can do it?
But yeah, that's the busy life. It's making stuff, it's gaming, it's making music, obviously. Raising a small child and just enjoying nature. That's the life of a heavy metal guitarist.
Rock and roll.
It's same for me as well. I enjoy my gaming as well. And the PS4 guy as well. I play more wrestling games. Probably no WWE 2K serious. So
I'm shite at them.
Not as I'm not at 20 and 19. So
yeah, you don't want to touch 20.
Or is that another minefield of just broken game?
Well, it's killed the franchise. So
wow. They've cancelled, haven't they? Actually,
cancelled. They're making the game, and they're making a new game, I think, next year now. So we'll see how that goes. But in 19, I've got some wrestling creations, some metalheads that I do. So you probably catch them on the channel, of course. And I'm trying. Maybe we could do a Volcano X sort of thing match as well, like a big man. So maybe like a
Volcano X Hell in a
Cell.
Yes.
If you're needing bad actors, you've got them.
I tried to make them as good as I can. I've made a couple of I've made a couple of creations from some of the metal bands from here as well. And I'm quite good at making all these creations. I try my best getting them all quite close enough. Obviously, you don't get the right hairstyles for them, but they're heroes, and it's still good. You get metalhead. You can play on the metalheads and that as well in the games. Make metalheads. Make this bit your own arenas as well. You can put band t-shirts on, logos on them as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Stone Cold coming to a Volcano X t-shirt on. I like the sound of that.
See what
Uploaded to the servers.
We might get you guys in the game. I'll just see if you guys are happy for me to do that, and so you will be.
Yeah, you knock yourself out, buddy. Yeah, honestly, go for it.
It'll be fun to see you. It'll be fun to see you guys in the ring as well.
It'd be quite cool to see, actually. Yeah, it'd be quite cool to see.
Guys,
I'm not going to be rude, but I'm going to have to go, okay, because Laurel's needing sorted out. So
no worries, man.
Just now, all right. But it was great to see us.
Yeah, good to see you too, Gav.
Hopefully get some kind of rehearsal maybe soon. I saw that Straight Up was doing.
Yes, I was going to say that. Go for it.
Well, no, I've just noticed the Straight Up was opening, so I don't know whether Riptide's going to do the same or Seagate or whatever. But hopefully sooner rather than later.
JP, what's the crack? Because I know that you're high risk. Can you do that yet? Could you do that sort of thing if I opened up?
I'm holding off on practice studios just now because I saw the Straight Up studio thing and I thought that's not really on yet unless you're a 3-piece or all of your band comes from the same household. It doesn't adhere to social distance.
Actually, yeah, it doesn't, does it? Yeah, you're right.
Because that's more than 2 households.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're right actually.
Or well, more than a total of 3 because I know you're now allowed to meet 2. Yeah. But then there's the whole question of microphones and stuff like that as well. Unless people are bringing their own mics. That's a prime source for contamination. I'm not touching it at this point.
I've got my own minefield at the moment.
Sorry?
It's a total minefield at the moment, but I just kind of meant hopefully sooner than later we can all get together.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Give it a month or so or something like that. Once the risk levels subsided, then yeah, I'm game for it. I'm absolutely. I mean, I had a very small socially distanced practice with my mate Gav. We've got this wee punk pop nonsense thing going on. Yeah, he plays bass. Gav Mackay, yeah. He plays bass. I play guitar. We have a robot drummer. So I was like, it's only 2 of us. You can sit at one end of the garden. I can sit at the other end of the garden. We're fine. That's grand. But being in an enclosed place with shared gear, is a bit of a minefield just now. I think.
Yeah, it's a bit risky.
But yeah, I definitely want to get something. I mean, I reached out to Mikey a couple of weeks back saying, look, have you got like an acoustic guitar? Do you want to just like sit in a park and get a jam on at some point, just to do something? And I mean, I'm happy to do that with everybody else, just to kind of like a wee reduced size mini musical thing. But I mean, I guess we've got to wait on the whole guidelines getting cleared up, and once the expectations are a little bit more free. Then, definitely up for practice stuff. But
cool. Okay, right. Well, take care, guys. Okay,
Gav. We'll catch you later, man. Soon. Nice to see you.
See you later.
Go, bud.
Bye.
So, as we say, we'll start continue this.
Okay. What else would you like to ask us?
Yeah. So we asked that's a hobbies and interest question, and she some really good. So we'll move on to another one then. We'll go back to music ones again, and what your music influence?
Okay, so like what influences? Okay, Mike, do you want to start with that? Seeing as you kicked it all off really way back when.
Well, yeah, there was obviously the kind of the main core influences of Iron Maiden and your Judas Priest, but also a couple of bands that you maybe wouldn't have thought, like Testament and Megadeth. There's a Japanese band called Galnerius with a lot of super melodic kind of symphonic power metal stuff.
Love that.
They're an amazing band if you've never listened to them.
Not heard of them, so
we'll definitely stick them on after we finish up here because they're something else.
They really
Can
are.
confirm. Can confirm.
I
Stuff
know
like
when
Strap,
heavymetal
yes.
was Japanese bands. I'm sure everyone knows. I'm not a fan of them, but I know a band called I think they're called Bloodstone Child. It's I think it's a Japanese band. I think that's the name of them, Bloodstone Child. And let me check actually. And actually, I should have actually checked the name. But I know the band I'm talking about is from Japan as well. It's very good.
JP, what influences you in Volcano X when you're bringing your guitar skills to the band?
I shall we say, I have an eclectic taste. I think is probably the simplest way to say that I have an awful taste in music. But I mean, this is everything. Like, I grew up listening to a lot of kind of post-hardcore emo screamo stuff, like Funeral for a Friend, Jimmy Eat World, Hell Is for Heroes, all that kind of stuff. And slowly that became Killswitch Engage, slightly more respectable, and that that whole kind of hardcore kind of genre and stuff. And like, I always had like your classic heavy metal, your Black Sabbath, your Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Metallica, Megadeth. They were all kind of there. And I was like, you know what? They're grand songs. They're not the ones I'm into right now, but like quite happily listen to it. And then like, I guess I kind of grew out of the kind of the teenage angst, shall we say, and just was like, you know what? Life's too short to be miserable all the time. And like just went down the pop punk like rabbit hole entirely, and it was all Blink-182, Newfound Glory, Sum 41, all of that stuff, and like the things you got in like the later 2000s, State Champs, 4 Years Strong, stuff like that. And I was just a proper punk pop kid for a while, even though I was like in my late 20s and denying it. And yeah, I guess joining Volcano X kind of brought me back to the classic metal stuff that I'd listened to way back when. I was like, you know what? This is the happy medium. This has got the heavy, this has got the energy, but it's not as depressing or like serious and downbeat as all your hardcore, like heavy metal, like heavy in terms of, but whereas like your classic heavy metal is a lot more fun. I mean, it's not to say there's not serious stuff going on there, but there's a lot more fun in it. So I mean, yeah, I span everywhere in terms of music. Like, I'll listen to classical stuff, a bit of jazz, things like that. Going over to Japan, one of Mikey's pet peeves, baby metal. There we go. Let's have a bit of that. a bit of baby metal, a bit of Bandmaid. Bandmaid are amazing if you like gimmicks, but hey ho. What else? Yeah. Everything, man. Just if it's good, I'll listen to it. If it has a guitar in it, chances are I'll dig it. Unless it's Oasis, in which case it can get in the fucking sea.
That's what you do when you're a metalhead. You listen to any metal, so it can be.
I just appreciate good musicianship. It doesn't matter what genre it is. If any point I go, oh, that's interesting. That's what's good to me. The second the song goes in a direction you're not expecting it to, you're like, now I'm interested. Second, like stupid things like key changes or pace changes that go where you weren't expecting them to go, or just like genres where you weren't expecting to have a ripping guitar solo and all of a sudden there's one there, or places where you're like, there should be a guitar solo here but there's not, and it's been skillfully kind of played down. As such, they've managed to sell the song to you without having to show off, kind of thing. There's lots of different ways that music can grab you, and as long as the music does grab me, then I'm into it. As long as it's not just a bland 3-minute pop song with predictable changes and nothing to really write home about apart from one vocal hook, then I'm into it. That's pretty much the way I see things. So.
Well said. Nice.
That's quite a mix of music then.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the Yatt is Murder or something. You might listen to that.
The
Yatt is Murder. I think you've heard of that band.
Oh, Thy Art Is Murder. I've not actually listened to them, but it sounds similar to something I would have listened to back in the day.
Yeah, deathcore.
It was all about who can be the loudest and most offensive. And then I guess I grew up a little bit, and then decided not to grow up and decided to be a kid again for a while, and then somehow landed in this kind of weird Zen place in the middle.
It's the art of balance.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without light, there is no darkness. Without darkness, there is no light. You need both. You need both.
That's very true. Very true. I suppose one of my influences getting into metal, growing up listening to metal, the first major one for me was Marilyn Manson, to be honest. Grew up listening to a lot of that Manson stuff. He was a big influence on me for getting into music and wanting to be a singer in the first place. Then that was definitely padded out with bands like Korn. Jonathan Davis' vocal style really suits my voice. My natural key is pretty much matches what Jonathan Davis does. Also, Casey Chaos from Amen brings that sort of wild, erratic punk, chaotic side to what I do. I really enjoyed that. Danny Filth was my door into heavier vocals, death metal, black metal sort of vocals. And then I suppose when it comes to Volcano X, it was new for me. I wasn't, as I said, I sort of grew up with Manson, Nine Inch Nails, Rob Zombie, Murder Dolls, that sort of stuff. For me, the likes of Judas Priest and Iron Maiden came before that. So I've been influenced by a lot later Judas Priest sort of stuff, like the last couple of albums. I've got into them through that door. I've never really got into the Iron Maiden, gone down the Iron Maiden path, and everybody hates me for that, and I can't name the tunes when the rest of the band starts playing them and joining and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, is that Iron Maiden? Yeah, that's the fucking
the amount of times you start playing a song, you're like, that's really cool, what's that? It's like, it's Iron Maiden.
Fear of the Dark.
It's only Hallowed Be Thy Name. Like.
Yeah, I'm totally clueless there. So.
Canopy and Madness. That's always a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I suppose in terms of Volcano X, it's my influence of singing in Volcano X are more bands like Steel Panther, so like what Michael Starr does in Steel Panther, The Darkness, Justin Hawkins. You can see a lot of his higher range in what I do in my range of hair. And the newer stuff with Judas Priest, I've got into it that way, and Ozzy Osbourne as well. Actually, I mean, I don't listen to a lot of his stuff, but he's like Jonathan Davis for me in that sort of new metal. When it's new metal, Jonathan Davis really suits my voice. When it's sort of traditional heavy metal, I'm quite suited to what Ozzy Osbourne does as well, his sort of voice. And I take after his recording and production style as well. I really like to always at least double, if not triple, my vocals when I'm recording, the same way Ozzy does, and get a lot out of it like that. That's sort of where I first heard that sort of obviously sort of layered, dual, if not trebled vocals. Yeah.
Awesome stuff, guys. So much influence then. So it's quite amazing how all these bands do that. They kind of, it's like something that can be completely different as well. And probably I'll say as our bands I probably like, I wouldn't say influence, but bands I like various metal bands myself. Like I like Meshuggah, I like them. You like the Insane?
Yeah, you can go for a bit of Meshuggah every so often. When you need that just pounding, just yes. That's it. There's a certain itch that Meshuggah scratches. I couldn't spend all day listening to it, but when you need Meshuggah, you need Meshuggah.
Yeah. And then the albums, like I like some of the bits when they have the soft bits as well. With the hard bits, you get these really cool sort of ambient bits in it as well. Creepy bits in it. And there's a couple of songs has that in it. Just it's really cool. Like the tech metal was probably back in the day. They were probably like Back to the Future or something, writing all these tracks. Nothing like that would come out from the 90s, I think. There's so many albums then. Hopefully they let a new album up soon as well in quarantine. It'd be good to hear a new album. It'll be coming out this year because it's been 2016 So got to get some new stuff.
Well, yeah.
So we move on to another question now, guys.
Go for it.
Yeah,
so let's talk about gig one. Let's talk about gear. Let's see what amps and guitars and basses and drums, etc., etc., etc. Do you guys need?
JP?
Do you want to start with me? I've gone through a whole load of different kind of setups over the year, but I've kind of settled on what I'm doing just now. I use a Line 6 Pod HD 500X as my main kind of floorboards, and that does all my effects, that does my amp sounds and stuff. But I run it through a head, so I've still got like a real amp driving the speakers on stage. I do have a cable that goes out to sound desk, so I have a direct out for the sound desk for easy monitoring and stuff like that. But I do like to have a real amp on stage where I can. Sometimes stages are too small and you're like, you know what, this makes gigging so much easier when you just have to bring one box of tricks and not like several boxes of tricks. So I mean, I've gone down the digital route with that. I mean, I'm looking to upgrade. I'm probably going to go to the Helix when I get the money and the time to get it. But for Volcano X, the 500X is ticked the box, shall we say. In terms of guitars, the guitars I play live, all of them I've made myself. I don't play any shop bought guitars live anymore. Partially because I'm a self-indulgent prick.
But you've got the skill, man. You've got the skill to do it, so why not, man?
Fuck yeah, man! What's guitar I'd made?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
Your skills are mad.
The one I use with Volcano X, it's like the sound suits what we're doing. It's the pickups are quite hot, but not like active hot. Like they've got enough go to them, kind of thing. The neck suits my style of playing and stuff like that. It is essentially just custom made for me. I mean, I know other people will pick it up and go, "Oh my god, that's horrible," but yeah, I'm just that used to playing it. I'm really comfortable with playing it. So that's just my go-to guitar. I did briefly have this one out earlier before we started. This was one of my first kind of forays into building guitars. It's an old skateboard. So that one has been played at one gig, and there's a problem with the pickup now, so I need to sort the pickup before we can play it again. But that's good fun because it weighs nothing, so you can dance about on stage as much as you want, and it just doesn't matter. So yeah, guitar-wise, I play my own guitars. Pedals, it's Line 6 on the floor. Yeah, fairly simple setup. I mean, I used to have a PV 5153, the little cream-coloured amp, and I used to do the 4-cable method, so I'd run the amp distortion. But my pedal did all the changes, it did all the effects and such like, and that was a royal pain in the backside to set up at gigs. When you go and hunk up this big heavy amp. It was an American amp as well, so I had to take a transformer with me, which was another big lump of metal. I had 3 20-meter cables running, four 20-meter cables, I should say. One running from my guitar to the pedal, and then from the pedal to the front of the amp, and then from the back of the amp to the pedal, and then from the pedal back to the back of the amp in the effects return. So I could have all of the sounds, and yeah, it was a royal pain in the ass. It sounded amazing, but it was, yeah, a royal pain. So I have simplified, and I've just gone straight floorboard, and that's job done.
So simple. Really simple now.
Keep it simple. It's a case of I run on stage, I plug the jack into the back of the pedal, and I'm going. That's it.
What's the action like on your guitar?
It's in the other room. It's reasonable.
Is it high or is it very close to the fret?
It's quite. I play my action relatively low. Not like buzzing on the frets or anything like that. I don't like guitars where you can literally breathe on the strings and fret them. Like it is really unnerving. I like a little bit of movement in the strings. The kind of like you can hit the string before you fret it kind of thing. You know you've got what you need. Likewise, tapping works out a lot easier when you've got slightly higher strings. And I do a lot of tapping because I'm a crap guitarist. Essentially, I need to hide the fact.
You're not a crap guitarist. You're not. He's not. He's not. He's talking himself down. No. All those guitars in the background are there for a reason. Right. So Mike, what's the action like on your guitar?
We're starting on action,
Yeah,
right?
we'll start on that, and then you can go through your gear, just as a nice segue between one guitarist to the other.
It's fairly low, but nothing ridiculous. Like I don't like fret buzz, even though you can't hear it when you're plugged in. It just I like the added sustain you get from just a little bit more height to the action. But as far as gear goes, as I sweep cat hair off my laptop,
oh, bastard. It's an essential part of the live setup, cat hair.
Adds to the timbre of the room.
Yes.
So guitar. Since I got it, I basically haven't used anything except my my Jackson Pro King V. It's a KVT. You can see in the back there. With the
cool. Six guitars and both from Valentine use them as well. So.
And Megadeth, you know, like better bands.
Significantly better bands.
I've got the Seymour Duncan JB in the bridge and the 59 in the neck, and that's the perfect pickups for me. Neck for leads, obviously, and bridge for rhythms, and get hefty chug out with that. But amp wise, currently using a Blackstar HT5. That was the combo that ended up on Of This Earth anyway. So you can hear it on that, obviously in the new video as well. Gear wise, got my pedal board. Essential pedal on that is the Maxon OD 808. Just for that added kick. It's been my overdrive for about coming up to 10 years now, and I wouldn't swap it out for anything. Other than that, I've got my Dunlop Petrucci wah. I've got Digitech Bad Monkey for extra sustain. I've got MXR 10-band EQ to bump up my my mids for leads, so that I can get a bit of extra volume. And the TC Electronics flashback for delay. So I've ended up with a bit of a semi-large pedal board, which is a pain in the arse at gigs as well, because I've got to run the aforementioned 4-cable setup that is a pain in the arse, especially when you can't get 2 minutes after you've finished your set before the next band's drummer is fucking tripping over all your cables.
That's what, Mike. Have you still got the Bad Monkey?
Yeah, that's for, like, if I've got my rhythm sound with the amp and the Maxon, and if I need a bit of extra sustain for, like, the chorus of Give 'Em the Axe, for example, I've got I've got that dialed in just a touch, just a little bit more low end and a bit more in the level, just to get a little bit more out the amp, squeeze a little bit more, just ring it out with there. That's basically.
I was fairly sure that was still on the board.
I think that's pretty much everything I use.
Cool. Well, so being the singer, obviously, I don't have anywhere as much near equipment as the other guitarists. But I've used in-ear monitors now for a while, and I really like them. But as January ended, I spent just about £500 on a new in-ear monitor set, gearing myself up for a new year of constant gigging all year. And then
2020 happened.
And then 2020 happened, yeah, exactly. But I've bought a Shure. He looks at the receipt that he's got in his email because he doesn't know it off by heart like the guitarists. I've got a Shure PSM 200 wireless in-ear monitor system, and I've got Shure SE215 sound isolating earphones with them. I've used them a couple of times in practice, and it's really, although I've been using monitors for a couple of years now, and I would highly recommend them to any singer because it allows your voice to be right here rather than way over there. jumping up from the quality of what I had before, which was only about 100 quid's worth of gear, up to 500, and just using that now in practice, it's made the world of difference. Everything sounds very, very clear, makes things a lot easier. It almost feels, it's getting to that level of feeling that comfortable of when you're sort of recording a record, because I know that being a singer, like, you can record one way in a studio, and then when it comes to doing it live, sometimes you might have to sing it a different way. You might have to adapt the way you sing, or the notes that you sing, or just because of how things pan out, or just because of the way things are mixed or not mixed properly, or whatever you can hear and not hear. But with these so far in the studio, it's making my job a lot easier, and I feel like I'm being able to sing more naturally than I ever have before. I hope I get to use them soon.
Once everything starts again.
Okay, yeah.
So, as I say, have you got any gigs planned? Any gigs planned in the future?
Well, no, to be honest, because we
don't
don't know what's going on. I think it's going to be at least next year before anything happens. I mean, who knows? There could be a second wave of everything that's going on. So all I've seen is all gigs getting cancelled and sort of rearranged for the summer of 2021. So we could be a long time going without this. So maybe we should get that socially distanced practiced on the go and get some sort of acoustic set going for our stuff so we can stream it somehow.
I'm going to throw something hypothetical at you here that I came up with the other night. Okay. Now, we're not in a position to set this up ourselves right now, but as a means of getting live music back on the air sooner, what's stopping people setting up drive-through gigs via Bluetooth? Everybody has Bluetooth in their cars these days. What's to say you don't have a stage with the band's evenly spaced out in your stage. You drive up, you park at the front of the stage, you're socially distanced because you're in your car. Okay? You don't need to worry about any sort of kind of ambient noise or anything like that, because it just comes straight out in your car stereo. You can sit in the car and watch the stage in front of you. You've got your music right there, and you're socially distanced. You're in your own wee bubble. There's no contamination threat at all there.
Interesting.
You drive-in festivals. You used to get drive-in movies, drive-in festivals. There you go. And you rather than having like a speaker set out there, so there's like all the air moving around, and everybody's windows down and stuff like that. You just do it via Bluetooth, so it goes direct to the people's car.
Interesting, man.
And you run off your own stereo.
Yeah, that'd be one hell of a mosh pit in the cars.
With Destruction Derby.
Highly up.
What do if you can't see anybody, because people will be packed to the cars in front of each other, the cars on the sides?
You've got to have a stage that's just high enough to sit above the cars.
What if it's like a mile away or something?
Oh, you're fine. Repeater screens. We'll have screens and repeaters.
Some people might have like a Lamborghini or something. They'll pack this sort of
sitting on the floor.
Well, they won't be the mosh pit then with a Lamborghini, will they?
I think something they'll do with people.
That's how we all bumped in for a monster truck.
Some people will actually say something about their cars, and like that car will talk about the performer will say something, the band will say something about that car. So maybe someone will drive a Formula car or something, Michael Schumacher or something will drive, or David Will Stamper or something will turn up in his Mercedes F1 car to a driving concert.
Like, I got no radio, man.
Or can also imagine Alan McNish as well driving up in his Audi A18 as well.
Le Mans job, yeah.
Yeah, just imagine that. Imagine having like a concert for these.
Well, this one's in pieces, so
dedicated, but it could be a metal concert for Le Mans and Formula 1 cars. So that could be the future.
I don't know. It was a mad idea that came across my mind last night. I was probably far overdue my bed, but I was just like, that'd be cool. Just rocking up and like just parking in your car and have a stage in front of you and just having the live sound just direct into your own car. I was like, that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, obviously logistics are totally like, yeah, but
I still think we need to get people doing what they're doing as bands, as part of people going to see them. There's more to do. Obviously, you're going to get less fans going to see bands. So So
there's definitely scope for an alternative medium of getting like live music out there. I mean, like one of the great things to come out of this lockdown, in my opinion, is all the Goldfinger live sessions. I don't know if you mind the band Goldfinger.
The name, I haven't seen.
I know James Bond.
No, it's
that's
Goldfinger. They're a kind of punk ska band kind of thing, and they got straight on it straight away, and they were like, you know what? Let's just redo all of our songs like in lockdown. And like they've played all their parts and like filmed themselves doing it, and the wee lockdown videos coming out every week of just another song of theirs, like a live version from home, essentially. So they've all kind of played the song live in their own place, and then sent the track to be mixed, and they've gone, well, there you go, there's a live version, even though we're in totally different houses, kind of thing. And it's cool. It's been a real kind of feel good kind of thing. Like watching these videos and watching them having so much fun just in their own houses, dancing about like they're on stage essentially, and just putting on a performance like they would. And obviously, they just gone, right, you know what? We'll put a click track out. Everybody performs the click track, and we'll mix it later. And it's good because there are definitely there are live versions of the song essentially. But yeah, it's just a totally different medium to get it across, and they've been really good fun. They've been keeping me entertained the lockdown.
I didn't watch it, but Steel Panther's done a live internet concert. They did it like last week or something. Seen highlights of it on YouTube. They did like this intro video of, you know, the stupid way they would do stuff, but it was them like walking into the venue in all these big like yellow suits with the masks on and everything, and then trying to unzip them, and the bassist couldn't get out of it, so he's half out of it walking on stage and everything. It's really good.
That's very Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
Derek Smalls gets trapped in the pod.
Oh yeah. So
absolutely.
Yeah, true. Yeah, very good.
I need to watch that movie again. It's so good.
That's fun. This has been a fun interview. I mean, I hope to do get gigs restarted again. That's the thing we need. We need to get bands back to playing gigs again, especially here and around the year as well. Some of your bands probably up in Dundee, of course, as well, want to play you again as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Looking forward to it. I really hope we can get through this sooner rather than later and get some gigs on the go. Yeah, everybody. Well, I think we're all needing it, especially as musicians. It's part of who we are as musicians. I know that. I'm sure it's the same with you two. You just feel the need to perform. You don't feel quite complete. Don't feel quite complete without it. Do you know what I mean?
Not so much performing. You just want to make noise.
Yeah, well,
you just want to be loud. Like, it was good for the first, like I said, with the wee jam I had with Gav Mackay. It was great just to actually plug into an amp and just hear the buzz coming back at you. You're like, feels like home. Even though I'm like sitting in my front garden shivering because of the bloody wind, and like you're just like, you know what, just hearing that buzz off the amp and actually getting a real amp back at you, and you're just like, yes, I need this.
I think everyone will probably satisfied when they hear a buzz of an amp.
Yeah, you can't do it like, well, when you're living with other folk, you can't quite crank it up to your heart's content. You have to dial it back. You have to put headphones on or deal with it being low volume. And then, like in my case, we're having the wee one. Like, by the time I actually get time to play guitar, I have to be quiet because she's asleep. Likewise, I've been practicing playing the drums a little bit running up to this, but now I don't get the opportunity to. They're sitting collecting They're sitting collecting dust, because like the only time I get to actually properly practice playing the drums is when the bairn's asleep. So it's an electric kit, but there's still plenty of kind of clatter goes on with that. They're not silent by any stretch of the imagination.
Clack, 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 clack.
Yeah, like I say, I've got headphones on, so it sounds fine. Anybody else, it is.
Yeah.
And you're just like, nah, yeah, that's not pleasant to listen to.
I think a lot of drummers would just not play the drums until they get back in the rehearsal room because of this as well.
I guess some people don't have the option, yeah.
Yeah.
If you've got an electric kit or like somewhere like isolated to go and play your drums, then yeah, a lot of people will not have the option.
They're going to be rusty AF for sure when they get back into it again. They'll have to build up into it again as well. So I know a lot of drummers are going to have to probably wait a couple of weeks or something to get their bands back to square one again where they left off. So
yeah. I think Gav's been fortunate because he's got a wee electric kit in his garage. And we had planned to do a different video for one of the old songs off the Eruption running up to this, but unfortunately things have just kind of fallen through.
Yeah,
and he'd done a bunch of run-throughs of the song, playing the drums and stuff like that. And he's talked about being out in the garage practicing every so often, things like that. So I mean, we're fortunate in our case as a band in that we all have the ability to kind of get a bit of practice and stuff like that. But yeah, going back to the original point, nothing quite beats just the liveness of being in a practice room.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in a block of flats, and so there's like, I don't know what, 6 people below me, and 4 people below me, and another 2 above me, and 1 to the side. So as a singer, like I've got quite a naturally loud, powerful voice without a microphone. So my plan of action was I wrote a letter or a note 7 times and posted it through everyone's door on lockdown, saying, look, I'm a singer in a band amongst what other stuff I do. I'll want to keep singing or practicing a couple of times a week in lockdown. And I got positive responses from people. Only 2 people responded, the one directly above me and 1 to the right. But everyone was like, oh, that's really nice. Thanks for letting us know. And it's nice to know that I've got that option to do it. And it's made me feel comfortable being able to do it. Whilst considering everybody else in a block of flats at the same time. But yeah, I think I'm going to get some sort of massive stamina shock when we first start playing stuff or try and string a few songs together. I might be lying on the floor.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal when you revisit a song that you haven't played properly in a while and you're like, oh crap, I've got a solo here and I've not played that in 6 months. There's like a few songs that just like ones that haven't been in the live set or anything like that, or like ones we've not practiced a particularly huge amount of times. And then all of a sudden you try and revisit things, you're like, oh, I am rusty. But it comes back very quickly. Basically, you fluff it twice and then you're like, fine, we got it.
Pick up as well. So
it's just like what's that? What's the black sheep we never play? I even forgot the name now. Philosophy, yeah. It's like that. We play one of our songs, the philosophy futility. It's on the Eruption. We barely play it. We play it like every now and then, and I just or someone just shouts like, "Let's play the philosophy," and we all look around and go, "Oh, I'm not sure about that." And then we seem to just nail it most of the time, pretty perfect. It's been like 2 months since we played it.
We're like, why are we not playing that instead? We're actually quite good at that song. And it never makes it into a live set. Absolutely never makes it in. But like every single time we pick it up, like the first run through will be like, see, you what? That was much better than I expected it to be.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a good one. That it's always a surprise.
Yeah.
So we'll ask a couple more questions now, guys, until we wind this interview off.
Go for it.
Don't mind. So we've got this one though. Like, is there a dream gig you guys would like to play, and who would you like to play about?
A dream gig.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. We could probably count down to 3 and just answer at the same time, and all have the same answer.
Let's talk. Download.
So a dream gig, like creating our own lineup with bands we'd like to play with or something?
Yeah, like both bands, like whereabouts, and then what supporting bands you guys would like to play with as well. So.
Oh, all right, okay.
I think it's always got to be Download Festival, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Like playing the smallest tent in Download, I'd be happy with. I'd be like, I'd play Download.
Yeah.
Couldn't care what the lineup was. Couldn't care if like nobody showed up because it was flooded. I'd like play Download.
He's right, actually. Yeah, JP's right. That's actually that is my goal actually. To play a festival.
I'd probably go with the main support for any of the bands that I love. So the then that way you're getting a crowd because you're forced to listen to you while they wait for
Mike has thought that one through.
Piggyback off someone else's success.
Megadeth or something.
Yeah.
No, that'd be sweet. Like, let me think. So, Download Festival for sure. Main stage would be really nice, but let's face it, that's a big ask. Bands around us for sure. I'd like to see Megadeth, Maiden. Something a little bit more left field would be nice as well. I don't know, Deftones maybe.
There we go.
Something. One of those bands. Like I heard this the other day. There's a specific spot in the middle of the day, main stage, which is just known as the Biffy spot. Because Biffy Clyro went around all the festivals everywhere, and they always played kind of fourth from the top of main stage, middle of the day Saturday. And that was just always their spot. So like it's always the Biffy spot. And there's always a decent band there that draws a big ass crowd, but they're not big enough to headline yet. But they're far too small to put anywhere else.
So bands maybe like Devil Driver or Lamb of God or something in that spot.
One of those bands is just like consistently middle of the day main stage Saturday.
I suppose if I had to name 3 bands I'd like to play with, I would probably like to say I'd like to support Steel Panther, Ailstorm, and
Ailstorm played Bloodstock, and I think they played at a good time.
Yeah, I was there like 2 years ago. They were really good.
Did you go in 2018?
What's that?
You went in 2018 as well?
That's right, I did. Yeah, 2018 and 2019. I went last year as well, yeah.
That's when Gojira headlined Saturday, so...
Yeah.
So it's the same, and Judas Priest then played that time as well. So
yeah, they were great, yeah.
That was the only one I went. So me and my friend went together, and my friend actually drove us down there as well. So
very good.
Insane. First time I went, so definitely would like to get myself back there again.
Yeah, that was the first year I went, 2018 as well, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad. It wasn't Drown Road or something like that. It wasn't
yeah, it's a lot smaller than Download. It's about 10 times smaller. I looked at the attendance, or the max capacity for Bloodstock is around 11,000, and then Download's like 110,000. So it literally is 10 times smaller, which is great.
Yeah, so Download's
very accessible.
City, the faded Bloodstock.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the middle of nowhere. And then obviously it's basically a park when it's not used as a festival. It's just a big, do you call it a country park or something?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's nice.
But and Judas Priest playing this, and playing the 50th anniversary tour would have been great as well. And they would have been.
They were excellent in 2018. Very good. I'm glad I got to see them actually.
First time as well. So, I mean, I would definitely like to see them again.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say I was taught a lesson in respect when I watched Judas Priest in 2018. For the path of particular of heavy metal for this sort of band, and I saw why other band members such as Mike or whatever really likes Judas Priest. I definitely learned something that night. I really enjoyed it.
So did I. So
you go listen to Maiden, you'll learn something else.
I have actually seen Maiden. I saw them at Download in 2007. But I was just in a different frame of mind. Maybe I'd like them now. Then my mind's a lot more expanded. But I was there for more heavier stuff, like in a different direction. I was there for like Manson. I was there for like Lamb of God. Devil Driver was there. I think Korn was there. Sorry.
2007, did you say?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because Megadeth was there as well.
2008 was Maiden. 2007 was the year I was thinking of, because that was Danny Filth's band, Cradle of Filth. They were high up. I figured that would have been one of.
I must be thinking of Megadeth then. I must be confusing myself.
Megadeth were definitely playing 2007.
Yeah.
I remember watching them on the live stream.
Yeah. Okay.
Mastodon as well. Mastodon was fucking amazing. Man, those early Download years are so good.
I saw
I'm so gutted because of my job. I can't really go to them anymore. But.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. It's right. It's still in term time, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's term time. So basically, I'd have to kind of show up late and leave early, which is a bit lame.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
but yeah, like I said, the late 2000s at Download were bliss. The lineups were so good all the time.
Did you see Devil Driver that year? They created like a massive pit in the second stage in the tent. They got like about 90% of the tent just turned into got them to turn it into a circle pit.
I think I heard about this. It went around the pillars.
Yeah. It was great.
Oh no! I did see that. That was the weird year. There was the transitional year where they moved out of the circuit and they put it on the other side of the circuit before they're now at their. I want to say it was 2011. But yeah, it was a concrete floor. It was part of one. The second stage was set up on a road essentially, rather than a thing. And yeah, they put a circle pit around the sound desk.
Oh wow!
And like I was there, and like some of my mates were like sitting at the side of it filming it and stuff, and I saw all the footage like later that day, them being like, "This is mental," because like normally circle pits are kind of like a slow kind of jog, like kind of folks just moving around. This is folk were sprinting, folk were full on giving it Limpert Christie, just going for it, and I was like, "This is mental." If you like stepped out into this, you just get absolutely wiped out. You'd be going to hospital if somebody ran into you the speed. That was mental, man. Man, but yeah, Download's been a lot of memories there for sure. Seen a lot of amazing bands like coming through. Seen a lot of surprises as well. Went and saw Lordi in the tent.
Oh,
because
nice.
like I said, we just seen Cradle of Filth. We sat through. We were actually quite funny, to be honest. Like in between songs, we were having a good laugh. And then it was Bullet for My Valentine's back when I still thought they were cool. Followed by Funeral for a Friend, and then Guns N' Roses. I was like, okay, I'll stick about for like a song of Guns N' Roses, and if they're any good, I'll hang about. And yeah, like within about 30 seconds, I was like, this is garbage. He just left because it wasn't Guns N' Roses; it was Axl and Hired Help. And basically, he spent the whole first song complaining the sound was awful. So I was like, well, I'm gone. And went to the tent and saw Lordi. And Lordi were genuinely one of the bands of the weekend. I was like, that's phenomenal. Like, you couldn't get into the tent either. It was queued out. I was standing outside the tent looking over. And, like, still one of the bands of the weekend.
I have seen Iron Maiden. They were there in 2007, but not in the middle. They were headlining on the Sunday, according to the poster.
Was it 2006 I'm thinking of then?
Maybe, yeah. No, but no, you're talking, you're talking about some of the stuff that we have seen together.
Yeah.
Like the Devil Drive and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, Iron Maiden was there on the Sunday.
Yeah, I must have been a year out. I thought it was 2007, 2008. It's obviously 2006, 7.
See, my dates are blurred. Like, in my mind, Iron Maiden and Megadeth played on the same day, but in reality, Megadeth played on the Friday and Iron Maiden headlined the Sunday. So, but yeah. There we go. Yeah, I knew I'd seen them, but yeah, I just wasn't into them at the time. But I probably would think better of it now. Should we say? Anything else you'd like to ask us before we wrap up, then, Chris?
Last question for you guys. I mean, that was insane. I mean, I would definitely it'd be good if you guys do play these festivals in the future. Eventually, it'd be good to see. It'd be good to get to that stage.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, fingers crossed then.
Yeah. I mean, we were hoping to get on this was it Springburn Festival? Because we did that last year. That was good fun. That was good fun. It's very much a smaller scale though.
Oh yeah. I'd like to get on the main stage there though. That's a decent crowd there.
Silverburn Festival.
Main stage is a decent crowd. I'd like to get on that.
Yeah, if we get main stage at Silverburn, that'd be really sweet.
Well, like 300-400 people roughly in that tent.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
They'll be playing the new songs, I guess, the heavier songs. That would definitely get some of the metalheads coming along.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can see how good the album's got, how good this new album's, the EP is going to be good. I'm actually tempted to listen to it now because the guys tell me how all these genres, these good genres, Gojira, some death metal, all these bands being combined into that.
Yeah. Go have a look at the YouTube page, and there's live videos of everything apart from Violence Through Digital Frames there. So you'll get a taste of what it is. Obviously it's live and it's recorded off of like camera phones and stuff. So it's, shall we say, rough, but you'll get the flavour. You'll get the flavour.
Yeah.
That'd
be cool. So we'll end it on a Bond style then. What's anything you'd like to say to the listeners?
The world needs heavy metal. Rock on, motherfuckers.
You stole my line.
They bring back anything.
Great minds think
Sorry,
alike.
Yes.
We may be miles apart.
That's all I've got in my mind.
Only if metal comes bigger, better, stronger, more powerful and faster. That's all we need to be heavy metal to come back once this is over.
Listen to our Spotify, follow us, leave your streams on overnight, just leave them going so we get loads of royalties. That's what I'd like to say to everyone. Listen to everything. Get your mum's phone, get her iPad, stick it all on, leave it all going.
Just make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, just the usual stuff, really. Yeah. And check out the EP when we put it up.
Yeah, and we can't wait to all see you again at a gig whenever that is. And you better go fucking mental, because I will, and I'll jump over the barrier and go mental with you.
And you guys come to Edinburgh as well, definitely. Got to see you guys again for sure when you come back to play. And or maybe some outdoor festival thing near to Edinburgh that I can try to get along and see you guys for sure. And with Dalkey Country Park or something, so to have like a metal festival. Then like our country park just outside the city, it's quite a big country park, so they do some music festivals there. So I hope they do bring on some metal one for homely bands from here. Was playing it, would be cool to see how that goes. Because I know they do stuff like that as well. So and any shout out questions before we end it off?
Any what, sorry?
Shout outs.
Any shout outs? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Shout outs to everybody holding it together in this difficult time.
There you go.
Yes.
Shout outs to everybody keeping a level head, keeping things good and positive. I think the big thing to remember is that as much as we are miles apart physically, technology has never brought us closer together. So, I mean, even us in the band, like, if you have nobody else to talk to us, honestly. Keep yourself safe, Send us a message, strike up a chat. We'll chat back. We're nice enough guys.
Absolutely, yeah.
Chat again as well.
Yeah, couldn't say it any better, JP. That's lovely sentiment.
But I mean, thank you very much, guys. I really enjoyed this interview. It's been really good.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Cheers. You guys take the time. We got there at the end as well, so. But thank you. It's been a really good interview. I really enjoyed it. Really good to speak to you guys from all the way from Dundee, of course. So give it up to Volcano X, and so I hope you have a good day and good evening, and make sure you listen to this on Sam Radio and YouTube. And share it out as well. Make sure you share this out. It will get some more views as well. We'll keep the views going. And be sure to subscribe and like and comment, of course. And that really makes a difference, as everyone does on YouTube. So and thank you very much, guys. I hope you guys have a good night and take it easy, guys.
Cheers, Chris.